Alright guys, big day today. I think we're finally ready to just about fire this thing up. So right now we think we have everything hooked up. All the wires are plugged in, the Holley's connected, the little dash monitor is connected. So what we're going to do right now is just turn the key and make sure the fuel pump comes on, and we're going to see if the dash lights up, because we have to prime the engine and we're going to need to see if we get fuel pressure. And I'll show you, we'll explain later how we're going to do that. We're not going to do it this minute. We just want to see, just make sure there's no leaks when the fuel system pressurizes. All the electrical connections look good, and make sure that Holley dash deal comes on. So fingers crossed this is going to work, and then shortly after this we should be firing this thing. So let's see what happens. Alright man, you get all the wire and then jam the key in there. Hope for the best. Alright, we got something. What's it say?
It says, you guys probably can't read that. Perform a TPS auto set before startup.
I have no idea what that means, but...
And then okay.
We got lights on here.
Okay, so yeah, we'll have to,
Okay, I don't hear the fuel pump. Is it like, what's the fuel pump connected to?
just switch power into the dash.
So it should be on?
It should be on, yeah. Alright, so we're going to check the fuel pump and then figure out the TPS auto set, and we'll get back with you guys.
Alright guys, we're getting ready to prime the motor here and get ready to fire this thing. So we got this drill pump from Home Depot, and then it just comes with like this garden hose and a little sump that goes into your oil quart, or quart of oil. And then you're going to spin the drill, and it's going to pump, hopefully, that through this clear hose into the side of the block right there. There's a little plug right next to the timing cover where you can pump oil in there, and it should fill all the galleys up, all the little crevices. So that's what we're going to do here, and hope this thing works. So here we go. Ready? Alright, we're sucking air, so I don't know if I don't know if we need to do more. Almost a quart of oil.
Yeah, well, we've already got, how many in there?
5.
Yeah.
Or no, it's like 6 or so, or 6 or 7 actually. Whatever it calls for, I don't remember. We looked it up at the store, but let me let's put another quart in there, and then we'll take it from there.
Alright.
Alright, second quart. Let's see how far it goes. Here we go. Alright, I think that's good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the time is finally here. We're going to try and fire this thing, so fingers crossed. We double checked, tightened everything, made sure our connections were right. So I think it's finally time to see what's going to happen. So we got the overflow tank just sitting up high. We're going to use that as our high point, fill the radiator from there. And I don't know if I talked about that before or not, but that's just a little eBay catch can. I painted it silver, and when we got this truck, we went to Edge Brewery in Boise, Idaho, and they gave me one of the labels for their beers. I was always trying to get a sticker or something from the breweries I go to out of state. And I threw it on there. Kind of looks like a beer can. Like I said, I painted aluminum and threw that on there, so it looks pretty cool. But we're going to use that to fill it up. We already got a couple gallons of water in there, and next we'll start putting the antifreeze in there. I just didn't want to put that in there right away just in case we had leaks. I didn't want to, waste all that. So fingers crossed. Like I said, everything's good. We ended up getting the problem of the throttle position fixed. We called Holley. We were on the phone with the tech for a while. Basically, you have to go through and set everything up first before you go to that stage. So you'll set tire diameter, your timing at wide open throttle, your timing, with no boost, things like that. So we had to go through, set all that, like basic cam specs. And once we put all that in there, then we were able to set the TPS, the throttle position sensor. So it worked like it should have. So, and the sad part was it was in the instructions. We just didn't read them. So we're the middle-aged good timers, not middle-aged instruction readers. So that's not a good time. So we read the instructions. So it's all good, and we got it fixed. So here we go. Ready?
Yes. Yeah. So these lights go off when you start cranking.
Yeah, and like the Holly screen goes off too. I felt like, what do you think that means?
I know exactly what that.
All right, so we had a little problem. We tried to start it. I know you guys heard it sitting there cranking over, but apparently the Holly has to be hooked to a power source that is on when it's cranking, in addition to ignition. And so we didn't really test that when we hooked it up. We just kind of hoped for the best and hooked it up somewhere, and it obviously was wrong. So now we got it hooked up right, and we used the multimeter to test actually when it was getting to tell when, you know, when it was cranking. What circuit was cranking? Or you could probably explain it better, but
The easy way to tell, because the Holly lights, as soon as Christopher started cranking the truck, the Holly lights went out. So I was like, that hit that light in my head that okay, it's losing power when it's cranking, even though it has power when the ignition is just in the on position. And it mentions that specifically in the software, or not the software, but the book.
So we took a guess and it was wrong. So should be right now. So here we go.
Round 2.
We do. Ready?
Yeah,
All green?
kinda. Well, Gordon lives.
A little loud, yeah.
It's kind of loud.
Oil pressure. I don't know how to cycle through that Holly, but I'm pretty sure right now this is just the hopefully this is just the stuff burning off the headers and the matting or whatever. Hopefully. So we'll give it a break here, and then we'll, like I said, I need to start it up and see what the oil pressure was, but I got to figure out how to cycle through the little Holly thing on there. So it's running. So now we'll fine tune it and hopefully get this thing going. Hopefully, yes, I think that's the wrap. It should burn off here. I'm just hoping it doesn't burn through my
That's coil wires? Plug wires?
Plug wires. And we got to move this. There's a wiring harness we got to move away from that exhaust too, so it doesn't melt. Oh, I didn't have the blow off valve hooked up. Take that guy out. So now it's just fine tuning, so we'll, like I said, give it a little second to cool off.
Keep filling the antifreeze and stuff.
Yeah. Did you see the fuel pressure? Or no. See if we were good on.
It was, yeah.
So good, yeah. So far so good, guys. Well, we'll keep you posted. We'll probably, like I said, do a little more tuning. At least find where the oil pressure is. Just make sure I got good oil pressure, and then we'll keep going. Stay tuned. Good day.
Hey guys, just wanted to take a few minutes to go over the electrical. There was a bit of work we had to do to actually get everything wired up and working right, and I mean it's not in its final state, if you will, as far as wiring goes. You can see where we just have some loops of wire, you know, and some loose relays and stuff. Loop of wire back there. I mean, that stuff we did just because we weren't sure about the final placement of everything and, you know, how it was going to work. So we ended up getting like these little terminal strips you hang off the battery posts. So, you know, you can feed all these wires into here, and then there's little connections in here, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. You just jam all the wires in there, and it gives you, you know, a good solid positive connection to your battery without having to try and loop a bunch of terminals onto here. And we did the same thing over there on the negative. And then we ended up having to do an actual, get a flashlight so I can show you. So there's a, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me see. Maybe you can. Back there, where the light is a relay for the fans. So you ended up having to wire that to ground, and then you run it back to positive here. And a couple other connections I can't even think of off the top of my head, but we had to do the exact same thing. This relay here was a new one we put in for the fuel pump. Same thing, power, ground, signal out to the fuel pump itself, and then just a ground off the fuel pump. This little guy here is like a little circuit breaker for that fuel pump relay. So you split the circuit right here, put in a little breaker, so if it starts drawing too much it'll pop without overloading. And then obviously all your Holly connections and stuff just go right into the bottom of the Terminator X Max there. You can see all those. And the plan is, you know, once we get it running and stuff and we're a little more comfortable with how it's going reliability wise, we can clean these wires up. You know, get rid of those coils, run them back, start running them into like the little the plastic sheathing. You know, we ended up having to pull these alternator wires back because they originated over here. The alternator was on this side with the 454. So we pulled them all the way back through the loom, spliced them into the alternator here, and then just ran them up through that little, you see that, this guy right here. So just a lot of little wiring things to do. You have to do some grounds. Like the ECU takes a dedicated ground, that's it right there. And then a bunch up here. There's a couple I did down there, some new ones, a couple new ones you can see. So I mean, there's a fair amount of wiring, and it helps to have some basic understanding of how this stuff works. I'm not too familiar with car wiring, so the common ground and then it's almost like a 12-volt switch on everything else is just strange to me because I'm used to working on like dedicated circuits for low voltage like security fire alarm system stuff. So it took a little bit of a learning curve for me, but it seems like it's doing okay. So I just wanted to touch base with you guys about the wiring, because I mean, it was probably took us a couple days, you know, a couple 8-hour days of solid just wiring stuff and, you know, metering, trying to figure this out. Where does this circuit come? Where do you tie into the brake switch? Because there's two wires that come, one off the drive-by-wire and then one off the trans, I believe, wires to a brake switch, you know, under the dash. So that was interesting. And then you have to find your power off the little fuse block under the dash and make sure you got switched power and switch power when it's cranking, and there's quite a bit to it. So it's good to have a good little a handy multimeter and, you know, just some basic knowledge of electrical stuff. That went a long way. Or, you know, find a friend who does and they can help you out. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell for the wiring. Quite a bit of stuff, but just you know, is how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, man. Just take one project and do it start to finish and you're good to go. You just keep doing that and then you're out of projects. It's easier said than done, but yeah, you'll get there, man. So that's pretty much it. I think we're gonna wrap it up there. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. All those little interaction things really help us out and help us build the channel and hopefully grow. You know what I mean? We've got plenty of projects coming up. Plenty more content on Gordon too. Don't get me wrong, we're not done with this thing by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot that's going to go into it, tuning and, you know, getting this thing on the ground, getting the wheels on there, and stereo system Christopher wants to put in here. I mean, there's a ton of stuff left to do here, but I mean, it was a major, cleared a major hurdle tonight. So I'm happy, Chris is happy. Just wanted to take a second to say thank you guys. We really appreciate you watching. You know, you guys you comment, you like, you subscribe. The subscribers are coming up. You know, the likes are going up. People are commenting. It's awesome. We really appreciate it. And we hope you guys enjoy the videos, and we'll keep them coming. And we'll catch you on the next one.